Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? Artwod is the best platform in the world to teach you how to draw from imagination, where they give you the work, not the shortcut. Work that lets you draw like this after 3 years and 8 months, right? Who am I? I'm Viggy. This channel is a repository of my practice to prove that anybody, especially you, can draw. The fundamentals are 90% of my practice, 90 to 95, right? And, like alongside my own art goals, yeah, it's a repository of my practice. What else do I say? Yeah, artwod, fucking gluck, right? I'm not affiliated. I'm just a huge dick rider. What else? What else is there? Yeah, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Let's put in as much. I hope that hurt your ears, but let's put in as much effort as we can, right? Let's put in as much fucking effort as we can, because the effort is the only thing we can control. So, time to draw. There you go. What a wonderful intro. I swear there's like some other shit I always say. I always try to think about like something motivating to say, like, oh, if I can do it, you can do it. But I don't know. I guess I just said it right there, so it's good enough, right? But anyways, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. This pen is definitely dying, so thank goodness. Fucking, well, I'll hold on to it as like the dry pen. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. I've been having issues with my pens, right? Pentaroo, brush sign, pen artist, pentaroo, right? Classic shit branding. But love the pen, love the pen. But anyways, what am I doing? I'm looking at a portrait reference. I'm already starting to visualize and encompass it inside a cube, right? Inside a perfect box that I'm visualizing the seen through sections of this box, and I'm visualizing I'm basically seeing through the form, then I'm visualizing the diagonal cross sections inside the box, and I'm visualizing the center planes inside, the three center planes inside the box, and then the fucking the vertical, horizontal, diagonal cross section inside those center planes, right? And then the ellipses inside those three center planes, and then the sphere that encompasses them, right? I can't think that far ahead. Well, drawing is thinking. Just another little reminder: drawing is thinking, right? But currently, the first step is just be able to visualize the box that is seen through, and that takes a lot of cognitive effort. So I've already started thinking, and I've already started looking at the portrait reference, encompassing it in the box that I believe is accurate, right? It's actually a pretty good thing, because and this is the thing, like, you get reminded that people's faces are not a box. Like, if this is the bottom of somebody's face, this is actually, let's say this is the perspective, right? But this is their jaw. Does that make sense? Like, this is the perspective, but the jaw is angled. And right now I'm just arbitrarily making it even on both sides and giving it like the super hyper angled cutout. But that's what I've consistently noted, is the fact that like people's faces will have a nuance, right? And then you'll be like, oh, okay, well, then we have the face, and then this is like the relatively like the front facing plane, right? That's why Antonio from Artwod basically comes up, he introduces this concept where he's like, do this, but after this I'm gonna be practicing, and that's like hundreds of hours later, I'll be practicing something like this, right? Where we're just practicing putting a form wrapped cylinder. So if this is the cylinder, right, we're just practicing putting half that cylinder inside, right? And then it's wrapping around a sphere, and this makes it a lot easier when it comes to being like, oh yeah, the nose, the eyes, right, the mouth, and you don't have to think too extensively about these intensive luminous proportions. I might actually just skip that step because I'm doing the intensive luminous proportions. But anyways, I'm thinking now, and I'm gonna. I don't know why I made that noise. But anyways, I'm thinking now. I'm actively trying, and the thing is, I'm glad I chose a very difficult angle, because it's A, being obstructed by this drawing in the background. B, I can now practice, right, seeing it to the best of my ability, right? So already I'm starting with the invisible XYZ axes, right, or axis, however you want to pronounce it, right? I'm trying to think about the box and what it looks like in this perspective. Now I'm trying to think about the visible XYZ axis, right? And I'm just trying to put it all together. And while I'm doing that, I'm also trying to see the visible and invisible diagonal cross sections. Visible, invisible, visible, right? And my mind is constantly going to be fighting against me, because this drawing is an obstruction. It's going to get in the way. But this is roughly the perspective, right? Something like this. Something like that. I fucked it up a little bit, but yeah, that's completely fucked up. Hold up. Let me try to visualize it here, because this tiny scale is already really difficult for me to think about. But there you go. Yeah, something like that. That's basically the box that I'm trying to visualize, right? Seen through all that shit. bit more tilted actually. Actually, decent amount more tilted. It's more tilted like that. But still, very difficult. Very fucking difficult. So I'm also looking at the portrait reference right now. And this is like the warm-up, right? Where I'm constantly trying to get into the mode of just thinking. With a lot of cognitive effort, right? To constantly tax my working memory, bro. My speech is all over the place, but it's like that every session, right? That's why the 5 people who watch my channel click off immediately. That's why they watch me, right? But oh yeah, I keep forgetting to say it. It's been months since I've said this. Keep me on the background. Give me your attention. Mute my ass, right? There you go. There you go. Now that is a completed intro, right? So, anyways, also, I don't know why my voice sounds so high-pitched and nasally in videos. I've been listening to them because I have to when I'm like quote-unquote editing as an adding background music. I'm like, damn, I sound like an utter queer, but have no fear, for that's actually it's in vogue. So, really is nothing to fear. If every job application is asking for my fucking gender identity, we have to be doing something right. So, let's see. Okay. See, like I'm not tilting it enough. It's again like I'm making it subtle. It needs to be more extreme. So. Again, this is a new mental model. This is a new mental schema. This is a new set of calculations. This is a new a test of my existing mental model that I'm creating, right? So it's already very difficult for me to visualize this box, especially because I have to ignore the existing calculations, all the fuckery that's happening underneath the page, right? Like I'm already feeling quite a bit uncomfortable. So I need to lean into that discomfort. I need to lean in and ghost it, right? Lean in and ghost and to see, and I'm trying to hold this while I try to also see this entire box, like this visible XYZ axes. And now I'm trying to put it all together, and this is extremely difficult because this drawing, oh, I feel so uncomfortable because this drawing in the background is a huge obstruction, but I'm trying to put it all together, as in like connect the 2 visible and invisible XYZ axes, or axis, or whatever the fuck. I'm trying to really see. Oh my god, that was so uncomfortable. I'm trying to hold it. Let's try to hold it and try to see it. And now while I'm trying to hold it and see it, I'm gonna try to visualize the invisible and visible cross sections. And this is extremely difficult, right? Because I've already made a bunch of mistakes. I've already lost the angle. Oof, oh my god, that was very difficult. Because basically by the end there, like I was already losing all the angles. I was already losing the overall box, right? Because this, man, the fact, and I purposely did this to myself. I purposely chose an angle that is completely opposite to what's underneath here to force my brain to ignore it. Right, and that is already extremely fucking difficult. And I'll say it like as many times as I need to. It's extremely difficult, right? Because I never want people to think that this is easy. Or not because I have a fucking hard on for calling things difficult, but because I have a hard on for being transparent, right? And for telling you that like hey, like seeing, oh my god, it's already so difficult. But seeing a box like this, right? Seeing a box like this. Fuck is this box like that, right? Seeing a box like this, but at this scale is very, very hard, like seen through visualizing, not just seeing it in the sense of like, oh, having a vague idea. Because yeah, I could draw this box right now. I could 100% draw this box. I could skip all the visualization and the calculations that I'm trying to do. And at this point, like if with the amount of hours I spent on it, I can already draw the face. Like I could have spent that time towards just drawing the face, but the goal isn't to draw a face, right? The goal is to see geometric space, right? And an internalized schema of that geometric space in any angle that's highly transferable to any other type of drawing, right? Because it's space. That is the goal. And that is why this goal is not only worth it, it's also going to take 5 times as long, i.e. 500 hours, right? I'm just going to make the hours longer and longer. That way, like, again, expectations are just, oh, it's just going to take a fuck ton of time, right? But anyways, okay, I got the invisible Y, invisible X, and invisible Z. Now I get the visible Y, right? Let's bring it over here. Visible X, right? And visible Z. Okay, hold it. I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to connect it. I'm trying to hold it. Now I see. Okay, now I'm trying to see the invisible X, the diagonal cross sections. Fucking hold it. It's really hard. My brain's like constantly, it's like already trying to lose it, and it's making the tilt much more, much less what's fucking pronounced. But I'm trying to hold it to the best of my ability. Visible diagonal cross section, visible, right? And then invisible. And then invisible in the back. Wait. It's tilting this way, so invisible in the back. There you go. And then visible in the front. And I'm really trying to ignore this. This drawing in the background is an obstruction, but this is beautiful. I feel extremely uncomfortable. I'm trying to lean into it as much as possible. I've already lost the box, so I have to rebuild it now. Right? I have to rebuild it in my mind and on the page. I don't know, I said page like that, but I have to rebuild it because I'm obviously fucking straining, right? But I have to rebuild it in my mind on the page. And then try to hold it. Fuck. It's like diverging. It's so hard. It's like the fucking front plane's diverging. They're barely connecting. But I'm gonna lean in right now. I'm gonna lean in for the next 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is. I'm just gonna fucking lean in, and this is beautiful. But this is where, like, I've just been forcing myself to feel good because I'm attaching dopamine to all these mistakes, right? Because I'm an extreme, like, I'm releasing stress chemicals. Norepinephrine is being released. Acetylcholine is being released, right? And I just need to attach dopamine to air. So I need to, what that means is I need to emit output regression, right? Which is the glycosydic estrogen. What the fuck? Astrocytic glycogen, my brain's energy reserves. Used by the prefrontal cortex. Parietal lobe's being used as well for narration, but used by the prefrontal cortex. I just need to lean in. I don't know if I said it like that either, but I need to lean the fuck in. I'm trying to see the invisible and the visible, right? Trying to see this box. That's already so difficult to just see the seen through box, to visualize, to calculate when I mean see the seen through box, right? And now and it keeps tilting this way. I'm forcing it to stay that way. And now I'm trying to see / calculate, right? The cross sections, invisible, visible, 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 invisible, invisible. Oof, my eyes are warm. That was good. Okay, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well, and then we will get back to it. Yeah, so, wait, let me drink some water before I start speaking shit. Yeah, so that strain really is like all we can lean into, right? Because, and again, like I want to give actionable steps, like what strain is like, okay, when you are thinking, again, art, drawing, draftsmanship is a working memory skill as well, right? It's a working memory equation, you know? The more things you are trying to hold in your mind, and in the beginning to give you like the basics of the basic, not simple, sorry, it is simple, but not easy, right? Simple and basic, but not easy. And like to understand even at times as well as to apply, right? And like, let's just go back to the first thing, the horizon line and one vanishing point, right? That is already, I have to visualize the horizon line. I have to make sure that it's stable. I have to visualize the vanishing point, make sure that's stable within it. And then I have to hold in my mind while applying, right? Now I can do it. I see the fucking vanishing point. I see the horizon line. It can extend all the way here, or I can just choose to make it this big. But in the beginning, your capability is only going to be like, this big, whatever. Like, it's gonna be very limited, right? And the point itself is gonna be very vague, and you have to constantly be ghosting and like double checking and all that shit. And you'll be like, what? And then when you make the line, like, you'll be fucking up because you have to hold that shit while you're making this parallel line, and then this line that's going towards it, and then this line that's going towards it, and then this parallel line, making sure that it's all connected properly, it's not diverging, right? And then you'll find out that, oh shit, I thought I visualized the horizon line here, and I thought I visualized a point here, and I thought I was doing everything, but actually I ended up diverging that way, and I completely lost the horizon line immediately the second I started drawing. Boom, working memory. Your brain couldn't hold the fact that I had to hold a fucking horizon line for an extended duration of time with a vanishing point on top of it for an extended duration of time, while also applying while holding it for an extended duration of time, right? Holding all these calculations. That's already taxed your working memory. it's a fucking like, and at that point, if you're in the beginning, you're already thinking about your motor skill much more, right? In terms of like holding the fucking pen correctly and all that shit. So that is just projected outwards to thousands of the hours here now, where I'm doing infinitely more calculations, but the effort does not change. The strain that you feel where your brain's actively like, bro, I don't want to be thinking about this. Shut the fuck up, right? Like your brain like does not want to think, right? Does not want to feel the strain that you are essentially requesting it to feel, right? It doesn't want to do that. It genuinely doesn't. And that point where it does not is where you have the opportunity to force it to, right? Let me actually move the box back here. But that point right there is where you actually have the opportunity to force it to. Oh, I see the box now. Okay, I see through the box. So I'm gonna have to hold off on what I'm saying because I see the box. So I have to make sure. Oh, beautiful. So and because of this background drawing, my box went like this when I was like, oh, I see it. The second I looked back, it was like this. It was like that. Like completely wrong, right? So again, and on this scale, like this much larger scale. So that will happen. Your brain will actively only do what it is comfortable and what is known. What is known right now is this background drawing and this background angle. What is comfortable is to revert to what already exists. But we are creating something that doesn't exist, i.e. the angle in our mind that we are calculating, right? So yeah, like that is the feeling that we have to actively work against, because you are basically telling your brain, no, you have to pay attention to this, you have to think about it this way, right? And that strain, your brain constantly working against you, and it's not even just working against you, it's simply resisting friction. Your brain is resisting friction, and that resistance of friction is what creates friction, right? Which is what you push into, you lean into, you're like, no, it's beautiful, like shut the fuck up, like you do not know anything, and that's good, so I'm gonna force you to try to know something, which is what we are trying to do right now, and through hundreds of repetitions you will learn, and that is literally how it works, right? So again, like my brain immediately tilted it back this way, but so I need to keep fucking holding that, because like anytime I look here for the box, like it goes back that way, right? Because I'm not focused on the front plane. Anytime I'm trying to visualize the side plane, right? And funny enough, you see how I did this? That's wrong. Why am I doing that? It's this way, right? So anytime I need to like even put the outside plane, constantly make it so it's accurate. There you go. Now I actually see a lot more of the box, and now I'm trying to hold this to the best of my ability, right? It's not gonna be perfect, and I just looked at the reference again that's like a quick glance just to make sure that I understood that it was relatively correct. And I'm in extreme discomfort right now, but I'm going to try to hold this to the best of my ability, and then I'm visualizing, and I need to make the box bigger too, so let's expand it outward, right? And we see much more of the front of her face than the side of her face, like absolutely, without a doubt, right? Let me actually look at the reference to make sure that I understand where the box is existing, right? Yeah, makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm just double checking for myself, but just to make sure, like I know where the edges of the box, like the edges, like literally like this edge or whatever, like this edge, right? This edge, where that is in relation to her face, which is roughly around here, right? Like the sphere for her face. And then obviously this is the Loomis jaw, right? Something like that. That's a giant jaw. It is not that big. The jaw is like fucking, the Loomis jaw should be something like this. There you go. Much smaller. But either way, okay. Back to visualizing. And again, it is a constant effort, and I'm constantly trying to be in as much discomfort as possible, right? Like that is my goal, is to be in as much discomfort, right? Emphasis on the come, but as possible, right? And this is already extremely uncomfortable to visualize this. Now I'm going to try to hold this to the best of my ability, right? I'm going to try to hold this. Let me just try to get the angle down as well. I think I made the angle way too drastic, actually. I thought it was like, yeah, no, this is good. This is actually good. Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to visualize this box. Again, see through it, visualize it to the best of my ability. And again, like it keeps shifting. Like even the lines that I draw or like visualize, they keep shifting. So no more ghosting. We're just gonna try to visualize the fuck out of this box, right? Trying to see the invisible x-axis, XYZ axes, trying to see the visible XYZ axes, right? It's all vague, but I'm trying to see it, trying to connect it, trying to ignore this box, but I'm trying to connect it, and now I'm trying to calculate visible XYZ, invisible, right? If that's the visible, invisible, XYZ, and it's tilting. So I need a beautiful mistake. I need to put it back. I need to tilt it because it went this way immediately. I need to tilt it back, and I need to, like, now I feel the pit of discomfort. I need to see all the cross sections, visible, right? And I'm genuinely, I'm telling you right now, I feel like an extreme discomfort in my stomach. A discomfort in my stomach. I don't know why I said it like that. The discomfort in my stomach, right? And I'm just trying to lean into it as much as possible. Genuinely trying to lean into it as much as possible and to see this box. And this box is already very vague, but this is the part where you need to push in. This is where you need to, and again, for you, you might be applying way more than you're visualizing, or like a more of a balance. But for me, because I'm building such a complicated schema in my mind, there's a lot more visualizing. And I am applying. The applying is the visualizing, the calculating, the constant recalculations, the constant messing ups, right? But it's not as if like if you're drawing something a little bit more simple, not easy, simple, like a cylinder, right? You have less to calculate in your mind. It's still gonna feel very difficult, don't get me wrong. I understand how taxing it is to think about a plane, and then to think about putting an ellipse inside that plane, to think about the cross sections inside the plane such that the ellipse sits perfectly inside of it. I understand, that's extremely difficult, okay? And very full of friction in its own tier of spatial reasoning. I'm simply practicing a tier above that, like by a couple levels, right? Because I've already put my 1,000 hours into the boxes and the cylinders, right? People always say like, oh, don't just draw boxes and cylinders, right? Like, use them for something. I agree, but bro, like, people give that advice such a retarded way. Like, they basically they say it in a way which is like, oh, don't draw boxes and cylinders at all. It's useless. Like, no. The fucking forms are extremely helpful. Like, are you fucking retarded? These forms help you understand space, right? Like, it is not something you forego just because you're like, I don't want to draw boxes and cylinders. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Learn how to enjoy learning, all right? Yeah, learn how to enjoy learning, right? Because like they are very helpful. They're incredibly helpful. I agree. Do not draw these in isolation, right? Try to think about them. Try to think about like how you can make them more interesting. And I dislike that word, but literally like in terms of like how can I place them in ways next to each other, right? That's another skill now, right? Like what? There's a lot of ways, and this is why I just say just go to fucking artwod. They'll literally just give you like the playground and the sequential steps to be like, here's how you can fuck around with these forms, and then your only job is to be like, hey, they said I can fuck around it this way. How much more can I fuck around it with? Right? That's what I did. I just took every single concept that they taught, I stuck to one, and then I pushed it to the absolute limits that I personally could, right? In terms of just like implementation, creativity, uniqueness, whatever the fuck, like just in terms of like how it could be, yeah, it could be done, right? And then I actually understood a lot more, right? So this is my box, roughly. There you go. I know it's cut off a bit there. It's already been 23 minutes. Yeah, today's one of those days I can barely see. I want to be very clear. But I'm going to lean into this one last time, and then I'm going to rest my brain, and then we're going to draw the box, right? But I need to see, again, I'm going to lean the fuck into this, right? And I'm all, okay, like, so I can already see. I still keep starting with the front, but let's start with the back because that's more difficult, right? Hit it from the back. But anyways, let's start with the back. Okay, see, like that's not even enough of an angle. So I already fucked up the angle, so I'm fucking up the angle right now, right? For the back XYZ axes, right? Okay, and now this is extremely difficult. Connecting it to the front XYZ axis, right? It's extremely difficult. So I just need to, okay, so I'm thinking, okay, so I'm seeing the front XYZ, right? It's constantly trying to be more subtle in its tilt. It's trying to go back here this way, but it's, oof, that's extremely difficult. Oh, that's so uncomfortable. Like, and this is where I force myself to feel good because I'm already stuck at the most basic level, is like connecting the invisible with the visible, right? So let's try that again. Okay, I have like a more clear idea, right? And again, this drawing is a fucking obstruction. And that's what I have to push past, right? It's the fucking obstruction of it all. And let's see. Trying to get this. There you go. I'm just trying to think right now, bro. It's so fucking hard. And like the tilt is off too, because this drawing in the background is getting in the way, but this tilt, let's see. I'm looking at the reference right now to try to get an understanding of the box in of itself. There you go. Okay, I have a much clearer idea, right? So Okay, so I see the box now. I see it decently well, right? I see the invisible XYZ axes decently well as well, right? As well, very nice. And then I'm gonna try to hold it to the best of my ability, ignoring this fucking obstruction in the background. And I'm saying fucking because I'm very upset at the fact that it's obstructing, but it's also a great skill to like be able to draw with things obstructing your vision, right? Like I'm building a stronger spatial reasoning this way, like to be able to spatially reason even when things in the background are getting in the way, right? Especially to this scale. Okay, so I see it. It's still not as tilted as I would like, for sure, but that's why I'm practicing it, right? I'm in extreme discomfort, right? My stomach is like fucking, not churning, but it's definitely feeling that pit. And now I'm gonna force myself to see the invisible cross sections. Already, like the side plane, like this side plane was diverging. It's like fucking this, right? It's like completely wrong, but no more ghosting, just sheer cognitive effort, working memory endurance, right? And just trying to calculate it in my mind, see it on the page, and I'm trying to see the visible cross sections, the invisible cross sections, right? Trying to ignore this drawing that's occurring in the background, right? It's extremely difficult. Fuck me, right? And that's an invitation. No. But anyways, okay, so I have like a semblance of an idea of what it looks like. Holding it, trying to think about the cross sections, really trying to calculate this in my mind and on the page, right? Genuinely trying to calculate this in my mind and on the page. But it's extremely difficult. Like I'm making so many mistakes. Like I keep losing the invisible planes. Right? I keep losing it's dude, like I wish I could verbalize this better, but all you need to know is like I'm genuinely trying to think about everything like in terms of like the diagonal cross sections, right? And just already trying to see this box is already an incredibly difficult feat right now, right? So trying to see the invisible cross sections, diagonal cross sections, right, has become, and again, like when I do this, you have to understand that it's the drawing in the background is constantly fucking with me. It's constantly fucking with me, so I have to, like right now, like my brain keeps tilting it this way, keeps tilting it this way, so I'm actively fighting against that, right? I'm actively fighting against that. Okay, there you go. Got a bit better of an understanding. There you go. This is the visible cross section. Okay. That wasn't bad. I made a lot of beautiful mistakes. I want to be very clear. I could barely hold that together. Like multiple times it barely existed. I was just, and again, that's because it's a very difficult angle, which I haven't created the schema in my mind yet to like this, right? And the goal is to be able to rotate the schema at any point, right? At any angle, but I haven't practiced this schema, just not even like this entire dozens of calculations that you're seeing here, but just the dozen, right? The dozen of the seen through box and then every single invisible diagonal cross section, right? And that is already extremely taxing. So I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. And then I already used that bit. And then and then we draw again. Right? Please rest your brain. Alright, Gucci in the Gango, as the youngins say. I think they say that, right? The fucking lit AF fam, skibbity bibbity doobity dabbity. I act like I'm really old, but to be honest, I'm only 28 and it's 2026, so. But I have a late birthday, I'm gonna be 29 in holy fuck, 3 months. Oh god, bro, the year flew by. I'm born in September, so it's July right now. It's July 2nd, right? Okay, let me just look at the portrait reference one last time. And now I'm going to, while I draw this, already visualize the seen through box and everything in relation to that, right? But I hope that my efforts do act as a mirror to your own, right? Because genuinely, this is it. Like, this is the difficult middle, right? This is the middle that nobody, because we only see at people's end results, right? But my channel, I am literally basing it all off of the process. And I'm so happy that I started this channel because truly, how many fucking no, there's no channel that not to this extent. There's a lot of art channels that just post their progress. That exists. That is true, right? And while I'm talking, I'm thinking like, well, I'm really trying to see through the form while I do this, right? There are a lot of channels that post their process, right? I'm not denying that. Like, they do exist, right? There's nothing special technically about what I'm doing here, but what is special is that I'm actively telling you that, hey, I'm thinking about this. There's no channel like mine. Objectively, there's no channel like mine that extensively narrates the thinking that they're doing while they're drawing, right? And that is extremely valuable in my opinion. In my opinion, I don't know if I said opinion like that, but that is extremely valuable in my opinion. Like, you need to know what people are thinking. Like right now, while he's talking, he's thinking about this seen through part of the form, right? He's thinking about converging and like the extent to which he's going to be converging these lines, right? This vanishing point right here, right? He's also thinking about the invisible cross sections, right? The diagonal cross sections to the best of his ability. Is he doing it correctly? No, he's actually failing quite drastically, right? And he's forcing himself to feel good while doing this, right? But you don't get that thought process from anybody else because nobody else practices fundamentals online, right? They do, of course, in real life. Like, of course, people practice to this extent in real life, right? But nobody practices to this extent online, right? And explicitly verbalizes their entire process and puts all their shit. Because I don't draw my good drawings. I don't draw good drawings. I don't, right? Like, I only draw the practice because my practice is what I draw. So like, that's all I do actually. But and again, like right now, he's struggling to visualize the right angle here, right? And actually, there should be a little bit of convergence, right? Otherwise, this is more of like a 1-point perspective. But either way, mistakes are made, right? So, well, I already made it like a slight convergence here, so he can actually lean into that. You just realized that right now. Why is he talking about himself in third person? No fucking idea, mate. No fucking idea. But it's been done. But now, like, and by the way, like while he was doing all that, he could barely see the cross section and see through the form. But now that he actually has like a really good opportunity to, now he's consistently seeing through the form. He's consistently practicing seeing every single Okay, I'm gonna stop fucking talking myself in third person. This is disgusting. But now I'm consistently seeing through the form, right? I'm consistently practicing seeing through the form and like exactly where they all meet, right? Which is right around here, actually. Yeah. Oh, see, like I converge this way too fast. It should be right around here. And that is accurate because this one needs to be like, this is the plane. There you go, because this back plane is much larger, right? And this may not be a perfect box. I think I probably should have made it a bit larger on this bottom end, right? It actually is, don't think it's a perfect cube at all. It actually could be, it could be. My cubes in general like will constantly need work, right? And that's okay, like that's completely fine. Like I understand that they'll constantly need work, but I'm just trying to look at the portrait reference right now and try to think about how it's all placed. Okay, so now it's time to really think. Now we have to tax our working memory to the absolute fullest. I was still really thinking before, right? But now that we've reduced a lot of cognitive effort in terms of like visualizing this box, now it comes down to visualizing the inside. And you can see like this is a schema I haven't drawn really in ever before, right? Like this angle, right? The schema has not been tested in this angle because I'm already struggling to see through the form accurately, right? And why is that? Because like I haven't done something in this angle, so I haven't had to connect a point over here that connects it's called a vanishing point this way and a vanishing point that way, right? Not with this new schema in mind, not with the seeing through the form in mind, right? So I'm really focusing on visualizing the seen through form, and now that I'm holding it, I'm getting rid of that point. I'm trying to hold it to the best of my ability. It's already converging in, diverging and everything, like this plane, back plane, but I'm trying to hold it, and I'm trying to see the diagonal cross sections. This one, right? This one, invisible one, invisible, because I have to hold it correctly, invisible, right? Trying to see through the form, really trying to calculate this, and then visible, visible, and visible, right? And now that you know that's what I'm trying to think about, I'm gonna fucking push my mind to the absolute, because again, my mind consistently in the back plane is going up this way, right? So I need to bring it back. Like again, this back plane, invisible back plane, this is what my mind is doing right now. right? Wrong. It's this, right? It's much more closer to that. But this is what will happen. Your mind will constantly do things incorrectly, and it's our job to recognize and lean into that friction of trying to do them correctly. So, again, just did it again. So, again, amazing feeling. Constantly, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna really, really, really fucking push to see through this properly, right? So I'm trying to hold the see through box, and I'm trying to visualize every single calculation. I'm trying to zoom out as well. I'm trying to zoom out and still hold it, which is extremely difficult, right? But I'm trying to zoom out and still hold it, right? Zoom out and still hold this. Really fucking difficult, I'm not gonna lie, right? And I'm zooming out, still holding it to the best of my ability, and now I'm gonna try to calculate every single diagonal cross section, which is also extremely difficult. I'm trying to see all of them all at once, right? This is where my body tenses up, because like I'm genuinely straining my brain, like on astrocytic glycogen to the moon, parietal lobe, also to the moon, all the fucking buzzwords, right? But I'm trying to see it, trying to see all the diagonal cross sections. It's so fucking difficult. I love this, but okay, I'm trying to calculate all of them. I'm just trying to hold all of them at the same time. And now we do the even more difficult thing. I'm gonna try to get the center planes in there. So I got the vertical center plane, right? And this is why like I'm constantly trying to push myself. Try to hold that. Try to hold that to the best of my ability. Got the horizontal center plane, and it's all going through the diagonal center line, right? Like the point in which the diagonal cross sections cross, right? Trying to hold that, and now we got to get the other vertical one right around here, right? And I've already lost the other two, but while I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to bring the other two back, right? And it's extremely difficult because obviously my own hand is an obstruction. Whew, okay, so now I'm gonna try to hold all three of them at the same time. And yes, it's like, it's fucking retarded. Like, I'm just a guy, I'm not even like ghosting anymore. I'm just staring at the page, be like, oh, I'm holding this, but this is the part. This is why I know my channel is unique, because I'm telling you, this is the verbal explanation of the cost of spatial reasoning, the process of spatial reasoning. I'm literally trying to hold multiple, dozens of calculations. I'm ghosting it in my mind at the same time, right? And it's extremely difficult. So I already lost seeing through the form and the diagonals, cross section, and the center plane. So I'm gonna try to lean into it one more time before I rest my brain, right? Just try to lean the fuck into it. And I'm losing I'm losing this vertical center plane, but I'm trying to get it back, right? I'm losing all the diagonal cross sections, but I'm really, really, really trying to get it back because I want my brain to be an output regression. This is where I'm forcing myself to feel good. I've just been forcing myself to feel good, right? But let's see, trying to hold it all together. And again, this is taxing my working memory. It's a cognitive endurance. Art is cognitive endurance. Drawing is cognitive endurance. Okay, especially when you're learning, you're studying. When you're doodling, sure, you're objectively you're not learning, so there's no endurance here. They're just fucking around. I'm 100% sure that you can learn, of course, in a more relaxed state where you are doodling and not using your brain. But there's different learnings to be had. I think there's more ideation learning to be had. Like, how do you ideate? Like, how do you allow natural ideas to come forth? And then there's a balancing of that with like with objectively, intentionally thinking about your ideas as well, right? Like, I'm not discounting the value of sort of automatic drawing, as it's called, because that is something that allows you to explore the intuition. But the intuition is built on the mountain of skill, which is built on the mountain of failures, which is built on the mountain of sheer volume, right? Intentional volume. But anyways, yeah, I'm getting like I'm getting a slight pressure on my forehead. This time I know I'm really pushing myself, but lean into it one more time. I'm going to try to see through the entire form. I'm doing that right now. I'm trying to see through the entire form. I'm trying to see every single invisible cross section, right? Now I'm trying to see the three center planes. And like, my brain is trying to do it really fast, but because the brain's really good at construction. Like, it's really good at reconstructing. Sorry, the brain's really good at reconstructing, right? Right now I'm just trying to explicitly force all the calculations without any intuition whatsoever, right? Just explicitly force them all into existence. And that is obviously very, very incredibly difficult, right? There you go. Okay, try to hold that for at least 10 seconds. I'm not seeing any of the three intersections, like three center plane intersections consistently, like as a unit. I'm seeing them flickering in and out, right? If that. And right now I've already lost like the seen through form. It's incorrect, right? It's again, this is happening where it's converging like drastically. But I'm actively fighting against that. I'm trying to see the cross sections. Okay, I could barely see the 3 center planes there at the end, but the intent and the attempt is all that matters, right? Just how much effort and friction did we experience? We leaned into it for a few minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever the fuck, and now we rest our brain. Please do the same. Okay, Wunderbear. I just noticed that I didn't tilt her head as much as I should have. It's a bit more. It's a bit more pronounced than that, right? But anyways, back to jerking off as to why this channel is the best. There's nothing like it, right? So anyways, like this is what I did, right? And this is. No, I didn't even do that. I did this rough. No, I did that. I did that. But the tilt is more like this. So see, like that's actually a pretty drastic difference. Definitely could have tilted it better too, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad, right? But anyways, yeah, I just know this channel has an extremely unique value proposition, which is the first and maybe the only, but the first extensive catalog of human skill acquisition in real time in the history of humanity. Right? This is essentially more than just learning about art. This is a channel that showcases what adult neuroplasticity and adult learning actually looks like over decades, right? And exactly the mindset, the approach, the consistency, the effort, and the girth involved, right? So you're all welcome. You're all fucking welcome. People won't thank me until what? I'm essentially the GOAT, right? Until I'm the GOAT, it will constantly be like this is some random dickhead on the internet, but this is bigger than me. This is bigger than you, and it's definitely bigger than 12 inches, right? Because that's above average, I believe, right? This is an inch, right? That's an inch. But no, this is bigger than all of that. This is literally to prove anybody can do anything. But right now, the context is you can draw, which is a pretty big thing, right? Like, because I hold myself dear to it, which is why anybody listening who isn't really an artist, right, but you have other skills that you're interested in, fucking catalog it. Show people that they can achieve it too. Become a master. Become a master for the sake of proving that anyone can become a master, right? Like, is there nothing more worthwhile than that, right? Become a master out of your sheer interest, passion, and work ethic to prove that anybody else can become a master through their sheer interest, passion, and work ethic, right? And passion passion is fed by work ethic, by the way, right? I don't think it's the other way around. Like, people always fucking, again, starving artists, oh, I'm so passionate about art. Do you fucking practice your fundamentals? Do you actually, like, give a shit about learning the basics of the this entire thing? Or are you just passionate about making what you want to make? Because there's a difference, right? And do you have the ability, the humility to take a step back and to train yourself to be like, hey, I can make practicing the foundations what I want to make, right? I can offset gratification infinitely, right? I can take my time, you know, I can still make what I want to make, but I can respect the foundation of what I make, right? What it lies upon. Anyways, back to practicing or visualizing or practicing the visualization and the calculation of the scene through box. Already very difficult. Again, my mind consistently wants to make this go that way. I have to consistently fight against it and to feel good about the fact that it wants to do that. But I'm actively making a huge effort right now to fight against that. While I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to see every single invisible cross section. And now, on top of that, I'm trying my absolute fucking best, right? And I don't just say like I'm trying to do it, I just do it. Like, I'm actively making an effort to connect everything and to see every line, right? Like every fucking line possible, right? Here as well, right? And I love this, bro. I literally live for this. I jerk off to this shit. This is what my fucking wet dreams are consisted of. This sheer effort. But seriously, okay, so like I'm trying to visualize all of that. And now back to visualizing or calculating, right? The center planes, calculating the center planes. And how long? Okay, it's 44 minutes. Okay, fuck it. Let's make things even more fucking difficult for us. Let's calculate the center planes, right? Try to hold that trying to hold that to the best of my ability, right? Make sure it's going through all the center lines of the diagonal cross axes, right? Trying to, and I'm basically like, what I have is a vague idea, but I'm trying to bring that vague idea much more clearly to fruition. The vague idea of the three center planes being connected. It's not a chunk component yet. My brain has not consolidated this information yet. There's still individual components I'm constantly calculating. Like literally each individual line of the center plane is something I'm putting effort towards calculating, right? That is already something, like just the three center planes I've already is essentially hit the quota of my working memory, right? Like, and that's not even counting the fact that I can barely see this one, and I still struggle a lot with having that one, but I'm trying to hold it all, right? Trying to hold it all, Attack on Titan, lose it all, and fucking cringe out by my own voice, didn't even finish it, but anyways, trying to fucking, and again, like I keep losing the invisible XYZ, and I keep converging at the top plane, like I said, I've been doing, but again, feeling good about all of this, literally feeling so good about all this effort that I'm putting in, right, to try to see it, and it's genuinely, my fucking vision's going blurry, my speech is getting slurred, parietal lobe is also taxing my goddamn working memory, right, to narrate on top of that, very difficult, but anyways, to see this, right, and I lost the center planes again, I'm going to try to lean in one more time, right, trying to lean in one more time to see and consolidate all the center planes, right, into one unit, and it has to be going across the, and again, like when I start calculating the back of this center plane, immediately this plane does this like converging again. I have to be like, no, while you're calculating it, you have to be exactly where you're supposed to be, which is right there, roughly, right there. Ah, fuck. Yeah, right there, roughly, right? So I have to, well, I'm calculating that, right, this one. Okay, so that was pretty good, I actually held it there. Whew, this is amazing, this is so difficult, right? Try to hold all these three center planes together, and again, I already lost like a bunch of them. And every time I try to hold the three center planes together, the inside, the seen-through part of the box essentially starts collapsing, right? Because again, like there's only so many things I can hold in my brain. Oh, you're focusing on these dozen calculations? Say goodbye to the other dozen calculations you're trying to hold in my mind, trying to hold in your mind, right? And it's just brute forcing a schema, brute forcing it through sheer effort. And again, like I'm trying to constantly see the cross axes as well, right? I'm trying to hold them as a constant in my mind. Am I doing it accurately? No, but now that I'm focusing on just holding the seen-through box and the constant of the cross axes in my mind, okay, say goodbye to the center planes, and I have to be like, no, okay, try to hold all of that. Oh my god, okay, try to hold all of that, and now try to do the center planes again and make sure they go through properly. Okay, so it's like a flicker, it's like 20%. Barely, when I try to hold the seen-through box and the diagonal cross sections accurately, like consistently, as like visualized calculations and lines that I'm actively imposing onto the page from my mind onto the page, right? When I'm doing that, trying to also add the center planes basically is like a vague idea, like a super vague idea, but that's what and especially all at the same time, but that's especially what I am trying to do right now, and it's barely working. It's like 2% there, 5% there, maybe 10%. All three of them intersected, by the way, right? Oh, that definitely taxed the fuck out of my working memory, right? So again, let my mirror be, my mirror, Jesus Christ, let my efforts be a mirror to your own as well. Like, I get it. And this is it, by the way, right? I guess another reason to jerk off of my channel is that like I'm going to showcase the quote very extreme quote unquote like as fucking much quote unquote I can put boring middle, because it is not boring. It is evidently extremely stimulating, right? Extremely cognitively stimulating. It's like a math puzzle in space to work out, and also use your fucking pen while you're at it, right? Art, like draftsmanship, is an incredibly difficult skill, right? And genuinely very difficult, very humbling, genuinely very humbling, right? Like, when we should honestly be enamored and appreciative of the fact that as human beings, every single one of us has the ability to build the skill to see space on a 2D plane. Think about that. We have the ability to do that, right? Like, and through practicing sheer geometric volume spatial reasoning, like we can start believable things, right? Even with the most simplest of forms, like, and these are not easy, by the way. Like, it is not easy for, and it clearly wasn't easy for me to think about this shoulder joint in relation to the space that occupies to the fucking like upper part of the arm, in relation to where the shoulder should be in relation to this box. Like, those are all like multiple relationships going on, right? Like, everything, these are all relationships. Like, how does one thing exist in another in proportion to another? Like, how big is this person? Like, it's so difficult to think about. But the fact that we have the ability to even try to do this, mwah, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. Anyways, rest your brain. I'm gonna do the same, and then I'm gonna try to do that again, but this time thinking about even more fuckery, which is the center plane. And by the way, like, this is my limit right now. My limit is trying to see through the box, see all the diagonal center plane, all the diagonal cross axes, visible and invisible, and then to try to consolidate and see the center planes going through them. That's my actual mental limit, which is like 30 plus calculations easily, right? That's easy 30 plus calculations. That's the first thing that I want to like consolidate with the visible box. And with the invisible box, the first thing I want to consolidate is just the box with the diagonal cross axes, right? The see-through box with the diagonal cross axes. Like, when there's no box here, when I'm just visualizing. So like, again, and then after once I consolidate those 30 plus calculations, then it'll be a lot easier to think about, okay, their center, diagonal, horizontal, vertical center lines, right? And then their ellipses inside of it, right? Like, that will be a lot easier to think about. Right now, it is simply just an attempt to try to think about it, right? But let's see, like this, and then it'll go down here, and then whee. Okay, so yeah, like it's getting better slowly. But anyways, like, that was just me thinking out loud for no reason. But please rest your brain. But yeah, that boring middle that is referred to constantly is just a fucking lie. It's a lie to shield the ego, right? There is no boring middle. There is the stimulating middle. There is the effortful middle. There is the cognitively, what's it called? Cognitively stimulating middle, right? It is a frictionful middle, right? It is simply the long duration of being incapable while striving to be capable, right? And that sentence right there is a hit to the fucking ego, right? The ego that thinks that it should be able to achieve in less the time, with less the effort, with less the duration, with less the intensity. There's no fucking should. There simply is. And what is that this will take me as long as it will take me. I predict 400 hours, 500 hours. Reality may say no, a couple hundred less, or yes, actually no, even a couple hundred more, right? Or yeah, no, you're right on the dot. But it doesn't fucking matter. These are predictions to offset the responsibility of thinking about when, and to put the responsibility towards thinking about now, right? Like, now is all that matters. So anyways, back to visualizing the seen-through box, right? The seen-through box. Sometimes I don't even know if I see anything, bro. Sometimes I feel as if I'm just fucking lying to myself. But clearly it's having an effect, right? Clearly it's actually meaning something, right? I'm going crazy, right? Just a guy staring at a piece of paper talking about invisible lines nobody can see, right? And to be like, oh, but it's important that you know what I'm thinking about, because this is a duty for the future of artists, right? Seriously though, sometimes it does feel like I'm going insane, because I'm literally just calculating things that don't exist, and then I'm reminded, no, remember, don't forget about the gaslighting. It's all about the effort. It's all about the effort, right? It is extremely difficult. But anyways, back to thinking about the. Okay, now we have to think about the fucking center planes in each the center lines in each center plane. So like, let's say this is a center plane. Imagine there's two more, right? I have to think about this inside of that as well, and then I have to think about the ellipse inside of that, right? The ellipse inside of that. And then I have to do that for the other two, and I have to hold them in my mind. That's going to be very difficult, so let's mentally prepare. Okay, I'm ready. There's no fucking mental preparation. The only way to do it is to, as the goofy movie trio boys said, right? Do it to it. as in literally do the thing to the thing, right? Is my interpretation. I just made that interpretation up now, so you're welcome. But anyways, again, my mind is constantly even now making this back plane converge up this way, right? When it should be right around here. Okay, I'm already feeling the discomfort just trying to think about that. So let's, okay, trying to visualize the box, not trying to visualize the scene through X, Y, Z axes, right? Trying to visualize the, by trying to, I mean like I'm making my best attempt at visualizing the cross sections. Oh, my stomach's already churning. Nice, we already have the pit of discomfort coming back, right? Trying to visualize all of that. Okay, now we get the center planes involved. Ooh, this is difficult. I know this is like I've hit my cognitive limit today, right? Trying to get the center planes involved, right? Oh my god. Okay, I'm trying to get the center planes involved, trying to get the two vertical center planes involved, right? And then the horizontal center plane as well. And now I'm trying to hold all that in my mind. I'm failing miserably, by the way. I want to let you know, like, when I say I'm trying to hold it, I'm just trying to fucking hold on to the goddamn, like, I'm trying not to let go more than anything, right? I'm trying to fucking hold on to this as much as possible, and I'm so uncomfortable. There's like a wave of discomfort going through my body right now. It's incredible, right? And this is just what I have to lean into. This is just what I have to lean into. And again, attaching dopamine to all these mistakes that I'm making, right? Again, this back plane keeps going back up, bro. It keeps converging. It literally keeps doing this, right? Like, fucking pen has gone to shit, but you know what I'm trying to talk about, hopefully, right? And it keeps making mistakes. I have to keep forcing it back down, right? Trying to see through the entire box again, trying to see all the diagonal cross sections, trying to see the three center planes, right? To the best of my ability. Let's see. And now I'm going to try to add the center lines in each of those center planes, like individually, because I can't do it all at once, right? I'm going to try to add the center lines to each of those center planes, right? And think about the ellipse inside of them, right? Same thing here. There you go, this center, and then let's see. Okay, that center line's actually a bit off. There you go. There you go. Same thing here. I'm trying to hold this ellipse as well in that center plane. It's extremely difficult. It's basically gone. Because the second I'm focusing on just calculating the ellipse here, everything else is essentially lost. Right? I'm just trying to hold it to the best of my ability. Hold. I want to say keep saying hold like that. But yeah, I said I don't know why I keep saying hold like that. And I know even my accents are hard to understand because I'm an immigrant. Please do not judge me for who I am, only for what I am, which is brown, right? But at least in Canada, that's very easy to do right now, right? But anyways, try to get this vertical one as well, and then it comes down here. Okay, this is very difficult to visualize, this ellipse, but I'm trying extremely hard to visualize it while also not losing its diagonal cross sections to the best of my ability, right? Okay, so that was extremely difficult. I'm trying to hold all these three things in my mind at the same time, and we're gonna try to get oh god, like it's all fucking collapsing, bro. It's beautiful. It's literally all collapsing because this is easily like 50 plus calculations. My brain does not have the capacity to hold all this. The brain never has the capacity to hold all this. Dude, I feel like a fucking buzzing, like a fuzzy buzzing sensation in the left side of my scalp, the left middle side. If this is my scalp from the back view, dish that right here. So just for a nice little visual, right? I didn't went away. Okay, it's probably just AIDS. Anyways, let's see. Trying to visualize it, trying to hold it all. Okay, because I lost everything, so I'm trying to bring it. Let me actually take a step back because our brain does excel in reconstruction. Right, so take a step back. Let me actually fuck it, rest my brain. Let's try that again. But yeah, I kept losing everything there, and I was in extreme output regression, that's for sure. Like, I was genuinely in output regression. So, like I was trying to think about everything, but like again, everything just started going away. So again, I'm trying to think about the seen through box. I'm trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections on every invisible plane. I'm trying to immediately like, and I'm trying to like not speed run this, but I'm really trying to brute force my brain to start thinking. Right, I'm trying to see every single the three center planes. Right, I'm trying to see the three center planes all at once. Already, it's just taxing my brain. At this point, like I've hit my limit. Right, this is basically like what my brain can effectively do in terms of like holding it all in my working memory, because there's a working memory skill. I'll keep saying that's a skill. It's a working memory skill. Oh, there you go. Like there's the fucking dude. There it is. That my stomach is like starting to churn now because I'm in so much discomfort, right? But let me just hold all that to the best of my ability, right? Try to hold these three center planes to the best of my ability, and I can barely hold them. Now I'm trying to think about the ellipses inside of them, right? But and that's based on calculating the three center planes, or the vertical, horizontal, and diagonal center lines inside, right? The cross sections inside the three center planes, the individual center planes, and trying to think about the ellipse, right? Trying to think about the ellipse, this ellipse, and then let's see, this ellipse right here, and then okay, this is the other one. This is the difficult one, right? This, let's see, fuck. I'm trying to get this horizontal one accurate. This ellipse, right around here. That one I didn't even see properly, but okay, now I'm trying to hold all these three ellipses to the best of my ability. And now we're gonna try to create the sphere. And for a second, I actually do see it decently. But, oh, it was just the idea. It was gone for a split second. Basically, for a split second, I saw what it could be conceptualized as. Right? But my brain does not have the brain energy to calculate all of these things at once, right? Because right now I've already lost the scene through box. I'm trying to bring it back, trying to bring the calculations back, trying to bring the center planes back, right? Trying to really think about the ellipses inside the center planes, right? It's so much to think about, bro. So, whew, okay, so let's try that one more time. Let's try to really calculate. And I'm in extreme discomfort. Like this is basically everything is collapsing, but trying to see this. I'm basically trying to again re-bring the seen through box XYZ, right? The invisible, oh my god, diagonal cross sections, right? I'm in extreme discomfort. My body is like just feels so uncomfortable right now, right? Trying to see that, and then I'll try to see the center planes, right? Trying to see the center planes, and then now I'm trying to see the ellipses inside of them, which is basically like at this point I can't see anything. I'm an output regression, but I'm trying really hard to see the semblance, like an idea of these fucking ellipses at the very least, and then trying to get the, let's see, trying to get the, good joke, Biggie, thank you, Biggie, but trying to get the ellipse right here. There you go. That's actually pretty decent. Let me keep going. Right around there. Okay, that's my ellipse. I don't think that's a perfect circle by any means, but there it is. Okay, that was, oh my god, that was incredibly difficult. That was amazing. That was coom worthy, I say. Jizz worthy, joom worthy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? I don't know, joom worthy didn't even make sense, but haha, I make funny noises. Anyways, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. And now we're going to try to hold all those calculations. It's not going to actually happen, but we're going to try to just hold as many calculations as possible in our mind while drawing the face. Drawing the fucking features, which is incredibly difficult. At this point, just like when this happens, just know that like when I say try, I mean like try to hold at least like one fucking line. Like of the hundreds of lines that exist inside this calculation, try to hold just one while I'm also trying to draw the three-dimensional features on top of this, right? And actually having to focus on like the minutia of those three-dimensional features, right? But anyways, let's rest our brains. All right, cool. I know this box does have its issues though. I don't think it's like very. I don't think it's the best perfect cube. I don't even think it's that perfect of a cube, but either this plane could have been larger, or I think this plane could have been a little bit larger. Right? Yeah, I think this plane could have been a little bit larger, but oh, definitely. Like I definitely think we could have had something like should have been up to here. Right? That actually already makes it much more of a perfect cube. But hey, you live, you learn. You never learn actually, because you keep doing the same shit over and over, and then you give up. Right? And that is called the artistic journey. Anyways, okay, back to fucking just thinking extremely. And again, my brain keeps, even now, it keeps trying to converge it that fast. But I have to be like, nope. See, it's that way. It's like this. So I'm trying to think about everything. Trying to think about the seen through form. Trying to think about the ellipse, right? Really trying to think about the ellipse. Trying to think about the cross sections. And now we, at the very least, start off with, fuck man, my table's blocking part of my iPad, so I need to like do this in a really wonky way. Not a wonky way, but let me at least try to think about this ellipse, right? Let's see, and then it's going here. Let's see, it's like this, and then it's this, and then it's coming back around here. Okay, that's my ellipse. Obviously I need to work on my ellipses, and I didn't really do that accurately, but okay, so it starts here then. This is where this is where it starts. This is where the sphere, the edge of the sphere starts, our horizontal one. And then we got this center one right here, right? So there you go. Okay, let's get the eyebrows in. She has some thick ass eyebrows. These are Middle Eastern eyebrows. They have to be, right? Let's see. Okay. Like again, I'm not really able to narrate this, but I just know that, oh, he's thinking about eyebrows. I'm looking at the portrait reference, I'm trying to get the accuracy down, and while I'm doing this, I'm constantly trying to think about as many calculations as I can. Am I doing it accurately? No, but I'm trying to think about as many calculations as I possibly can. Like right now, I'm trying to think about the ellipse, right? I'm trying to think about this ellipse as well, right? And I'm trying to think, just because I mentioned that, I'm trying to think about this ellipse as well, and then I'm trying to think like, okay, like that means my sphere is roughly like this, right? No, it's like roughly like this, right? Something like that. Perfect circle-esque, right? And while I'm doing that now, I'm looking back at the portrait reference and I'm trying to get the features correct, right? I'm trying to get the features generally correct, right? And this is also very difficult, right? Oh my god, I know I'm saying right over and over and over, but like there's no point in me even fucking saying that because you don't even know what I'm looking at. You just have to take my goddamn word for it that I'm struggling, right? But I am constantly, oh, say right one more time, bro, right? Okay, anyways, I am really, like, right now I'm basically just only looking at the portrait reference. There are no calculations happening, right? And when I say that is when I say there are no calculations happening, I basically give myself a little bit of a reminder, like, oh bro, at least try to calculate. But it's extremely difficult, right? It's very fucking difficult, right? But let's see. Oh, but okay, so that I already fucked up that nose and like all the proportions related to this nose, right? I don't know why I keep saying right. Fuck it, it's just the way I speak. Fucking deal with it, right? Fuck me, bro.
That's just the way I speak, right? That's just the way I speak, right?
Fucking so funny. You're so funny, really good. Thank you, really good. You're welcome, really good. Right? But anyways, fuck this lip. Let's just go back to, or not go back, but okay. I'm trying to think about, at least let's try to think about the seen through box. If I can't think about anything else, at least let me just try to vaguely think about as much as I can the seen through box and the sphere and like the ellipses inside of it, to the best of my ability, yeah? Because, and while I'm doing this, I am constantly looking back at the portrait reference again, just so you're aware that it's already taking a lot of energy to think about and to pay attention to the portrait reference, TBH fam. But for y'all cuntaroonies, I do it. I fucking sacrifice my life for Pakistan. And then this is the bottom of her lip. And I say try, but try really is the operative word because I'm really unable to think about anything apart from these features that I'm drawing, but I'm genuinely am making, I genuinely am making an effort, even when I'm filling this in, to try to at least see through the box, right? Right. He said the thing. He did the thing. But my proportions are really off though. But the eyebrows are so tiny compared to the lips. Jesus Christ. But the lips are perhaps too big. And the proportions in general are off. The proportions in general are definitely off. And that's also very difficult to think about. But either way, while I'm doing this, I'm going to try my absolute best to think about the ellipses at the very least. And the seen-through box, because, and I am trying to, and anytime I like even zoom out a little bit, because I'm trying to zoom out as well, I am trying to think about the diagonal cross sections, invisible. And again, it's like when I mention it, it like it becomes easier to think about, right? But oh fuck, I made her look the wrong way. She's supposed to be looking at us, but I made her look up. Is there any way to fix that? Fuck it, I don't care, bro. Who gives a shit if I change the way where she's looking? It is called artistic interpretation, right? I interpret the fact that, oh, never mind, she is looking at us. Haha! I just have to fill the eyes in. Oh, the beauty of being shit. And let's see, her lips, or her chin is somewhere right around here. There you go. Now we have to think about the ear line, which is easy. Not easy, but it's math. Like this is this, right? This is this ellipse. And then we have this ellipse, roughly. And then we have, wait, where the fuck? This ellipse, yeah, okay, so it's this ellipse, and then this ellipse. So the ear's like right around here somewhere. And that would be pretty accurate. Look at that. Vagu in the Bagu is an artist, after all. And then that's pretty good, because then this is what the jaw's like. And then this is, well, that angle's pretty off. I got her, jaw angle's actually pretty decent. And this is her neck, right?
Right.
Okay, so anyways, let's get the side of her head in. So this is my lips right here. Let's get the side of her head. Because it is caving in, right? This is the part where I was just like, oh yeah, people's faces are, they cave in, right? They cave in. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. I can barely think about anything. But GG no re. This does not look like her at all, by the way. Like, the features are all over the place. But here, let's give her some eyelids. Will this make you more relatable if I give you eyelids? What about some eyelashes? That kind of makes you look depressed. Anyways, there's the ear. Okay, cool. So, I couldn't think about much there, but that was pretty good, I will say, in terms of just effort, for sure. Just trying to at least like think about the spheres and the ellipses and all that shit. I love this, bro. I love it. I love what this is doing to my brain. I genuinely am fucking cooming over the fucking, what is it, the effect this is having on my spatial reasoning abilities, right? Ah shit. But clearly not on my line work. Right? And then we got this. And that's converging. There you go. That's the box. That's the box that's trying to sleep. That's the box I'm trying to sleep. Right? And I should have definitely converged it a bit more. There should have been more convergences in general. But this is... Ah, fuck me. And I fucked up that diagonal. Yeah, this is the price you pay for being mediocre. But anyways, while I do this, I should probably still visualize as much as I can. Like, even while I'm drawing all of this, I think it's definitely beneficial to continue just visualizing the lines that I need to see, or that I try to see, because that's obviously going to help with actually drawing the fucking lines too when I'm drawing these seen-through forms, right? But I've just accepted this is how I speak. I say right for affirmation from nobody but for myself, apparently. But yeah, this is basically what I practice seeing constantly in my mind. And this is the first step. Like what I'm showing right here, like this first step is what I want to visualize without drawing anything, right? And that is most definitely going to be that's going to be the first hurdle for sure, like the first cognitive hurdle to bypass, or not to bypass, to infuse in my mind as a schema, right? That is going to be the first hurdle. The second hurdle is gonna be see through all these goddamn fucking lines I keep drawing. There you go. That's the first bit of fuckery, and then we get the next bit of fuckery, right? But this is good. Like I'm pretty happy. I'm genuinely pretty happy about satisfied, grateful, fucking appreciative. I don't know whatever words you want to use, but yeah, this is good practice. This is great practice for learning how to draw. Who would have fucking thought? In order to learn how to draw, you must first draw. And then you must learn that you have drawn. Very, very deep. Okay. Now Viggy, he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just talking around the bullshit. I'm not even here anymore. Everybody's left because he's done doing the thing that we cared about, which is nothing, because nobody was ever here in the first place. I truly am talking to a room of like, what is it? Maybe 5? And you know what? I appreciate the 5 of you who stay. I think genuinely most of you probably leave after a couple minutes. You're like, oh, he's still doing this. I don't care. I'll come back when he's good. Which is understandable. I don't deserve to have anybody watching until I have put in the work, right? But it's in retrospect as well. You know, the vast majority will be fucking groveling at my feet. In retrospect, when I had the skills that you so desire, and you'd be like, how did you get there? And then you'll be like, oh shit. It was sheer intentional volume on the most difficult things for years on end with no discernible improvement or payoff in the day-to-day. Interesting. It's almost like how every skill is built. Interesting. Perhaps successful people in any domain... what the fuck? Perhaps they're onto something. But no, it can't be as simple as do the very difficult things that the fundamentals require you to do. It cannot be. What about my brush? What about my quick hack brush? Right? What about my Ctrl Z, my undo? What about all of that? What about my fifis? What about my fifis? Unfortunately, life doesn't care about your fifis, right? I don't even care about your fifis. And I'm a very caring person. Get back to work. Let's see. Whoop. Okay. Again, this pen is very difficult to use. Wait, what the fuck? I completely fucked that up. This probably should be something like this. There you go. Yes, something like this. That's the ellipse. That's much better. Yeah, it's like trying to calculate everything and then you end up over-calculating and then you get it completely wrong. You know, that's basically the gist of... Let's see. Let me try to do this. There you go. Oh, so see, that's why like the eyebrows were too small, because I got the edge of the horizontal ellipse wrong, right? So that's okay, that happens. And then this is probably the ellipse I'm gonna struggle with the most. Right, dude, I'm hungry. Oh, because I usually have eggs around this time. That makes sense. There you go. That ellipse could have definitely used work. Like, what is this wonkiness? There you go, that was a bit better. And then, this is the schema, right? Like, this is literally... I caught my pen. I'm getting better. My hands are so fucking cold, bro. This basement is killing me. But, anyways. And then this is the overall sphere that's encompassing it. Holy shit, I actually drew it properly for the first time. Don't jinx it, you still have a little bit left. Yeah, there you go. That's the sphere. Not perfect by any means. But that is the sphere. Okay, good shit. And that is what I'm trying to visualize. And I'm so grateful that I'm spending the hundreds of hours required to be able to get to this point, right? But that was a great session. I fucking fried my brain, right? And I hope you put in a lot of effort as well. I hope you did your best. Again, every day it feels like I could have tried harder. I could have put in more effort. Every day, I want to be very clear. Every fucking day, I feel as if I genuinely, every day I feel as if like, okay, well, I don't know if I made much progress, you know, and yeah, like I do say things like, oh wow, this is actually getting a little bit easier. When I mean a little bit, I mean like fucking 3% easier, right? Like that is the nuance in which I have to fucking cling on to because it never gets that like exponentially easier. But I have experience now, right? I have experience that says you spent 600 hours on visualizing the grid purely with the boxes and cylinders. You spent 600 hours on that, and there was a point where, and for months and months and months on end, it was extremely manual until there was like this week where it wasn't manual anymore and it was automatic. And that's how braining learns. My brain had consolidated and chunked all that information into a consolidated, I don't know why I said consolidated twice, into a efficient schema, right? Into chunked unit of information rather than individual components. But it took me 600 hours of sheer effort. So this is gonna be the same. This is the same exact thing, right? Like without a fucking doubt. So thankfully I have experience. But if you don't have that experience and you're in the beginning, this is a video for beginner artists. You are not alone. I have a video on my channel called that. Click on my year 1 to 2 playlist. It's right there. It'll show you everything I did in the first year and a half to almost 2 years, right? There's only like 30 hours that aren't shown in that video of like drawing practice, but that's when I was like kind of trying to figure out between practice, when I practicing figures, and that was it. I just like did a bit of extra figure practice, and it was basically that, and like maybe some little bit of portrait practice, but that might also actually be recorded as well. No, I don't think it is recorded, but the point is like that's basically it, right? But like yeah, that was the first 2 years, right? And roughly the first 2 years. But yeah, go to that video for anybody who's in the beginning, right? Go to that video and they'll be like, oh, okay, right? I don't know if I ever explicitly said 600 hours, but yeah, that's roughly 600 hours. You should be able to tell that like it's at least a few fucking hundred hours, right? But it's definitely like easily 500-600 hours, right? So yeah, for those of you who don't have the experience and foresight, right, to be like, yes, this is how long it'll take me, and this is how I will consolidate this information. Like I will not get it until I do. Yeah, please have that video as your fucking like your backbone, right? And for those of you, and this will also be the backbone for future generations. Like everything I do is just, again, the archive exists as a longitudinal case study of human skill acquisition, right? Everything I'm putting my fucking goddamn jizz, my soul, everything out there, everything out here. But anyways, I'm going on a fucking tangent that doesn't need to exist. But as always, I hope you put a lot of effort in. So with that being said, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money.